Let's talk applique as a machine applique with a zigzag stitch. Now, if you just pick a zigzag stitch and you go to shorten the stitch length, so this is stitch number 5, you're going to notice that it will shorten down to only 1.5. Well, that's not going to get it all the way close together like you're probably looking for. And that's because on this machine there is a built-in satin stitch, and that stitch is number 7. And when we look at our stitch length, it's already fairly close together, so you'll always want to kind of test it out. Now this is a 6mm wide. I like a much smaller option here. Let's go down to 3 because I'm going to go around a fairly small area. And the stitching that I'm doing, it's not totally filling in. So I'm going to start to reduce the stitch length down until I find my stitches are fairly full. That's what I'm really after. Let me show you what I'm talking about. On this stitch, we want foot 2A on, or if you have purchased a open toe foot, which doesn't come with this machine, so I'm just using the foot that actually is recommended, the 2A. It's got a clear marking on the front, so I can see most of where I'm going. There is some lines to follow to help me go straight, but if you really want complete visible opening, you do want the open toe foot. So see how I started? First it was wide, and then I narrowed it, and then the stitches got closer and closer together. And see how they close up? That's when you really get the right setting. But that stitch is based on how thick your thread is. So if I want to go ahead and go around this star, then what I want to do is just line up my needle. I'm going to push down, and then I can use the red line that's on this foot to kind of help accurately stay close and over the raw edge of this little star here. And then depending on, I want to stop with the needle in the down position. And I'm going to go ahead and do one more stitch and then turn. And then as I bring this up, I'll lift up my foot and then move on over. So you can kind of control as you go around which kind of side you want to stop on. That's really the key here. And just finding the right settings for the stitch that you're actually doing. I love the fact that when I stop with the needle down, that the foot pops up and hovers. And if I'm looking to get nice and close, remember the tap of the foot control is either a half a stitch up or a half a stitch down. So I can really kind of creep towards where my pivot point is as I am working. Now if you really get clever, remember we do have the tapering options, and I could set this to taper into, so I could do like a let's do the 90-degree taper into that corner. That's a little bit more advanced. You have to kind of know what you're doing there. But it is an option when you're doing satin stitching into really sharp corners. And so our satin stitch can go around a raw edge, and then that way when we go to wash this, these edges are not going to get frayed out. So that would be the right way to go about doing applique. You just have to remember it's stitch number 7, not your zigzag that you're actually using.